All right, Richard, I have been very eager, let's just say eager, to get your thoughts on a conversation between Maverick Carter and Carmelo Anthony for Uninterrupted. They were talking about how salty Bron and Melo were to play behind you and Shawn Marion on the 2004 Olympic men's national team. Let's take a listen, shall we?
So Marion and Richard Jefferson, obviously small forwards. Carmelo and LeBron made a pact. If we pulled the numbers right now, Carmelo and LeBron destroyed Shawn Marion and Richard Jefferson every time they played them the following year.
Do you remember the conversation, Mav? Do you remember those conversations we had, though?
I remember them generally, but not.
Yes,
but LeBron, I remember you guys made a pact. Like every time you face Shawn Marion and Richard Jefferson, because they started over them on the Olympic team. What was the combos, Melo?
It was just more like when we made that pact, right? It was just like, yo, they like what? They playing in front of us? Really? Like that was me and Bron's mentality. But then we used to go to practice, and in practice, that was our games. Like we used to huddle up before practice and be like, yo, listen, let's go to war. Like we want to smoke today. Like if they ain't ready to play today, it's on.
Richard, you and Shawn Marion ahead of those guys on the depth chart. Your thoughts?
Well, one, we did want that smoke, and understand when we talk about 04, right? T-Mac, I was on the show, and T-Mac, were you talking about 03 T-Mac? Well, 04, Richard Jefferson wanted that smoke. And look, Carmelo was not ready. Carmelo was not ready. He wasn't. And truth be told, neither was I. We had the youngest team of all time, of all the dream teams. We had 8 players under 25. That's not a recipe for success, especially if you go back and look at Sydney, that they barely won, and then you wheel out the next younger players. Now look, Carmelo is the greatest USA men's basketball player internationally that this country has ever seen. So I'm not gonna look at him and disrespect him. I'm not gonna disrespect our careers. But even if you go back and look at the next 3 times we played against each other, the very first game that we played against each other, I had to go back and look at the stats because I saw the clip. I had 26 and 11 and held Carmelo to 9 points. So Carmelo was not ready at the time. Now, I understand he was in his first and second year, and his career is far greater than mine. That's not the conversation. But in that moment, at that time, Carmelo wasn't ready. I truly wasn't ready. I didn't even play very much on the year before. I was quote unquote the select player. Now they have a select team. I was a select player in the qualifier for the Olympics. Then 30 players say no. Carmelo and LeBron, no disrespect to their greatness, and they are great players, but they weren't even in the top 30 of people that were selected. You're forgetting Tracy McGrady, Ray Allen. You had Mike Bibby. You had Jason Kidd. There was a lot of guys. They had to get really far down on that list to get to Carmelo and Bron, and including myself.
Richard, I love this energy. You brought the receipts today. Wow. You went into the index and got your numbers, and I feel you.
I had to, because they was talking. They was like, go back and look at the numbers. And I was like, okay, let me go back and look at the numbers. And it was, and so I was like, wait, I had 26 and 11 and held him to 9, and we guarded each other. So, and then the next, I was injured the following, and then the following year, it was the exact same thing. So I'm not going to disrespect the greatness of Carmelo Anthony. He's one of the all-time great small forwards, one of the all-time great scorers. But in 04, 05, 06, let's not make it seem like this was sweet over here.
And what I can speak to is that it works well for both sides. For those players that are starting like yourself, Richard Jefferson, or the players that are gunning for a starter spot, I understand that personally. This is the first time of my first season playing for the LA Sparks, and I'm playing behind my sister and Candace Parker. And it brings out the best in everyone, because if you think about moving forward from that Olympic team, everything was corrected.
Yeah, it was. And last thing, I'm sorry, Rach, last thing I'll say about this is that it's different. There's a different mentality. If you go back and look at the Dream Team, the original Dream Team, the practices were competitive. You haven't heard a conversation over who was starting over who, although that could be a bit of foreshadowing if we look at some things.
Oh, the shade,
but it wasn't about starting.
Okay.
It wasn't about starting. It wasn't about any of that. Like I was just glad to go and represent our country. I didn't care if Carmelo started. I wasn't even sure if I was going to be on the team the prior year or so. So I don't look at this. I respect Carmelo and LeBron.
And that wasn't your decision, Richard. It was a coach's.
There is no beef.
Look, RJ, my only quibble with you is that when you said of all of the dream teams we were, that was not a dream team, my friend. I'm sorry.
No,
Just
it
facts.
was not.
Just
It was
facts.
not.
2004
It was not.
was
I
no
agree.
dream team. Sorry, that's all I got to
Yeah.
say. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.